everybody, welcome back to Work in Progress. I'm getting started on the Forge World Bonanza. I did end up getting 3 Fire Raptors from Forge World a while ago, and I would like to use one in a game I have in about 11 days. So what I'm going to do is, in the next 11 days, assemble and mostly paint a Fire Raptor. So that's what it's going to be. This episode of Work in Progress will be the work on this Fire Raptor that I'm going to be frenetically assembling and painting up over the next 11 days. Now, I've heard all over the internet that the Fire Raptor kit is not good, so hopefully it won't leave a sour taste in my mouth, contrary to all the other Forge World kits that I've so far assembled that I've been extremely happy with. So I guess we'll see. I might need to grab my wife's hairdryer again, but we'll see how it goes. So here it is. It just came in a big Forge World bag. This bag is probably, it's big. It fills the whole screen. I can't actually zoom out my camera enough to, if I lift my tripod up, you can see it's probably almost the size of my whole work mat if I pushed it up there. So it's going to be a big project, and that's not even as big as the Thunderhawk, which is going to be a ridiculously sized project. Gonna have to clear my desk for that one, but this should be pretty fun. Let's open up this bag and see what's in it. Forge World Ziplocs, of course, are excellent bags. So what I always like to see, of course, is the Forge World seal of quality. This was checked by WS 19th of July, and the usual Forge World working with resin kit instructions. Then we've got instruction manual for the Fire Raptor, which surprisingly does not seem to have that many parts. Not too bad. Oh, there's more parts here. Okay, but not as many as the Mastodon, it seems, so not too bad. And then the instructions, of course, are here on like a 4-page fold-out. So that should be fun. Not the high quality of the newer kits. This is obviously an old kit. Who knows if it will ever be updated, but hopefully it will be good enough. So here's a bag of components. Looks like hull and engine components. Here's the base, flyer base, standard flyer base, and some more components, engine and hull bits, and the Gatling cannons, the other weaponry, and plastic components, which I think are so the cockpit components are plastic, so this is plastic sprue here, like clear plastic. So here's a component that is the side hull with, I guess that's where the sponson goes, and already you can tell that this one is going to need bending. Look at that, it's almost like a 10 degree bend on that one. It's not promising that they've sent it strapped down with elastics. Now this bottom one also looks like it has maybe a 10 degree bend in it. Not as bad as the other one. That one's going to need some bending. And then of course we have some more components, hull components. Here there's the floor, or part of the floor, all floor bits there. Oh, and then we've got plastic. This is unexpected. So the front part here and what looks like part of the wing and the cockpit area is plastic. Old plastic, 2010, that's how old this kit is, 2010, but plastic nonetheless. And a lot of these components are plastic. Interesting, the landing pads around the cockpit, plasma weaponry, the sort of engine parts there, and some more. So all the weaponry, assault cannons, las cannons, multi-meltas, which is interesting because I didn't know it could come with the multi-melta, and Hellstrike missile launchers, and then the Marine pilots, all plastic. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting melding of kits there. And that's it. That's the Forge World bag kept for future purposes, because these Ziploc bags are really nice, and this one is massive. Okay, that's interesting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the plastic parts on sprue until I need them, because I don't need to clean them, but I need to clean all the resin parts. So what I'm going to do is my usual process of cutting them all off, cleaning off all the lines and everything, and then giving them a wash. And here are the components of the Fire Raptor, all done and cleaned and ready for scrubbing with the soapy water. Didn't touch the clear plastic components, and I haven't touched, obviously, the plastic components. These are just the resin components, so we're going to get on and give them a good scrubbing with some soapy water, and they can dry overnight. Alright. Hit a snag already. I was just messing with the sides and how it fits on the bottom, and it snapped. Which may actually not be a bad thing, because these pieces don't fit. So, you know, this goes onto here, and then this is supposed to be like this, but these pieces are all bent like this, as we saw when we removed them from the bag. They're all bent, so they require bending. So actually, it's almost it fits better if you cut it first, and then you fit them as two separate pieces, and then if there's a gap between these two, just fill it. It's almost better like that, I gotta say. And this piece is even worse, and so I thought, oh, maybe I should just cut it here and here, and it'll be easier to fit. You can see there's quite a off bit of there, like 10 degrees off. And then the problem becomes worse. So I've been advised not to put the internal struts in. They don't serve any structural purpose, and in fact just makes it harder to assemble. So I think I'm going to follow that advice. But then you got to put this plastic piece on top, which of course is perfect because it's plastic. It's not warped in any way. It's perfect. And then like nothing fits together. It's pretty. You can see how off it is there, which fine. I can bend it a little bit, and actually, if you bend it a little bit, it probably fits in okay. And then this piece, similarly, if you bend it, I think it'll fit in okay. So then if you assemble that separately, that probably works out pretty well. So, you know, it's tempting to like freaking cut this piece here, because this is where it bends, is around the door. You see it bends right around the door area. So it's almost tempting just to do that. You know, if you wiggle this just a little bit, it'll snap. So it's tempting. And then I think it's also warped this way. So it's supposed to be pretty straight up and down, but it doesn't seem to be. So if you fit it like this, if you fit it so that the bottom is snug like that with no gaps, it's warped outwards. Not too bad. So I think if you, so there's a gap on the inside, so it doesn't fit snug like this. Like it rockers a little bit. And then this side, this is just the front piece there. If you fit it snugly in, which it doesn't actually do very well, it's actually quite a gap there like that. Look at that. So I think what I'll do is, I've been watching a bunch of videos, and the way people suggest you do it is that you fit these pieces in so that's snug along the bottom, and then you just warp the side so that it conforms to the top, and then you fill in the gaps. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I need to figure out why this doesn't fit in well, and I think it's this bit here I need to deal with, and then we'll get on and do that. Richie. All right. Fire Raptor is together and fitting, I think, well. The legends of how difficult this kit is are true, but I would not be defeated by a piece of plastic. So I submerged both sides into hot water, got them nice and pliable, kind of manhandled them together by hand, these four parts, so the base, the two sides, and this plastic roof, and got them into a good position while still hot. And then I've managed to put these elastics on and I've compressed them together beautifully, concentrically. Could only be done by elastics because of the concentric compression. Funnily enough, these are the elastics that came with the Fire Raptor holding these pieces to a piece of cardboard. So they actually come in handy. And then I submerged the whole thing again into hot water just to give it that pliability so that the elastics could compress it together. And you can see when I first put it in, the front here was not, there was big gaps here on the sides. But now, with some extra submersion and the pressure of the elastics, it has come together quite nicely and has closed those gaps. It's fitting really nicely now. The other thing is, this piece is too long. There was resin in the way of these top pieces, and so I had to shave it away, and so now it fits nicely there. So what a job. Okay, well, momentary panic and almost lost the whole thing and glued my fingers together, but after a whole night's work I've managed to hopefully glue solidly the fuselage of the Fire Raptor together, and it's pretty square, pretty good. I am, gotta say, proud of myself for getting that done. It's not perfect, but it'll do for now, I think. I think it'll be good enough on which to build the rest of the plane. It better be, otherwise this thing is going in the garbage and no more Fire Raptors. In the meantime, I've been building some wing pieces that don't seem to rely on any of the parts fitting together, so I've been doing that, and I'm just going to leave this overnight to set with these elastics there. Well, here it is, the finished chassis with the back door hatch on as well, which I clamped together overnight, so that stuck pretty well. So yeah, hopefully that forms a good foundation for the rest of my vehicle. Some small gappage just there on the front. Hopefully just cosmetic gappage along there, and big gaps on this piece. It just did not fit in. You know, like, I don't know. This is an old kit from Forge World, and compared to the newer kits that I've done recently, like, you know, like, look at that. It's really not good. But carry on and see how the rest of the kit fits together. The wing pieces are done as well, with the engine attached, which also fit together like ass. I mean, it kind of fits in there, and there's these, it kind of butts up against the engine, and it doesn't really feel like it's supposed to go there, and I don't know, it's like this weird kind of overlap there, and it doesn't really, yeah, anyway, so it is what it is, and we'll just keep going. All right, making progress. I got my pilot in here. I'm probably just gonna blank out the cover anyway, so it doesn't matter, but here he is. I've got my hatch on the top, my little vent that I had to seriously cut into. It's supposed to be flat across there, but that's how badly this model fits together. These two little mini wings, I had to take about 1 millimeter off this end in order to fit these in without having to mess with the back, which was way more complicated. And then this tail wing piece actually is the first thing that's fit together quite nicely. Of course, it does not dependent on any of these other parts fitting together. So far we're making progress with some small adjustments here and there. All right, bunch of progress made here. I finished off the cockpit, the little sensors array on the front, put the glass in there. I'm gonna definitely blank it out and put the rest of the cockpit in. The wings have gone on. These don't fit at all now, and it's not just because these are not flush here. Even, in fact, if I made them flush, if I rotated them up this way and made them flush, This bit here, which is a big gap between the fuselage and the engine, would be even worse. There's a massive gap here right now. That's not even designed to fit on there. It's got nubbins and stuff on it. So this engine basically just attaches there. And as you can see, if you were to rotate it up to fit with those stanchions there, it wouldn't even attach to the side of the plane. So I don't even know who designed this, but it's completely useless. In fact, I'm thinking of sending back my other two Fire Raptor kits. These kits are just so bad. I don't think I want to put together two more. Otherwise, I've got these, I put the missiles in there because, you know, it doesn't come with las cannons, and so I'd have to source las cannons, and I can't be asked, and it's only a slight difference. And then this wing went on, it fits a little bit better, but these supports don't touch the engine as on the other side, and you just attach it through there. So, not a very good kit. I put this back wing on, which was easy. And then I put this, the Avenger cannons together at the front here. Again, this piece doesn't fit, and that's partly because the front here doesn't fit together perfectly well. So it fits as good as possible, and I have to fill that gap. But that's as good as it gets, I'm afraid, with this model. It's not going to be super pretty. There's gaps there under that wing. I don't know, that wing is just designed to be like that because there's nothing that goes in front of it. Same with this side. So, you know, that's just how it is. It doesn't wrap around and make a smooth angle or anything. It's just not a good kit. I haven't bent these warp bit backs yet. I'm probably gonna have to do that in order to put the cannon in the side, but I'll tackle that when I get there. All right, here's another example of bad kit. So this ball turret, which is a standalone piece, you would think they could build tolerances in that allows you to put it together. Now, first of all, the instructions don't tell you what order to put it in. They tell you to put the ball together first. So you follow the instructions, and that's what you do. Of course, I've been getting lazy, and I haven't been dry fitting everything 2 or 3 steps ahead, so I didn't put this hatch on first. In any case, the hatch doesn't fit. First of all, it doesn't fit. It's too wide by almost 1 millimeter. So you can't tell me that was because I didn't put it in first, because if I put that in first, then these pieces wouldn't have fit together there either. So, you know, there's no tolerance built into that at all. And then the hatch is also not long enough. Look, so if you line this up, the hatch actually is like a good, 2 millimeters short at the bottom. So it's just bad. So I'm going to sand this down so I can get this hatch in there, because I don't want to paint that dude in there. I don't want to spend any more time on this kit than I need to. So I'm going to paint that. I'm going to sand that down so I can squeeze that in there. Here's another example. One hatch has to fit in the hatchway here. That's it. Simple piece into a simple hole. Not influenced by anything around it. Doesn't go in. Too long. As simple as that, and this kit is just... And that's it. So I'm going to go around filling some gaps, lots of gaps, and then we're going to get on and start painting this, because we got 8 days to get it ready. So I got 6 days to go before I need this baby. It's been primed black. The black is really nice and solid, as is usual when the GW primer goes on well. It's just a solid, nice, smooth color. And I've added a couple of symbols there, a dark angel symbol, and a raven wing. It's going to be raven wing color, so almost entirely black. And we're going to get on and paint this bad boy. Alright, base coat's done on the Fire Raptor here. Pretty straightforward, just painting in silver bits, red bits, and white bits, the symbols. I put a couple of a dark angel symbol there and raven wing symbol there, dark angel symbol there, and that's it. Same on the other side. And it's a fairly simple model to paint since it's raven wing and the majority of it is black. My missiles are red tipped, and that's about it. So I'm going to wash all the silver bits, and then we'll do all the highlighting, which is going to take a while. Alright, I've just washed the entire model with Nuln oil. silver bits all shaded and red bits and everything, all the symbols and everything shaded, but also the black, the non-oil serves to just darken and unify the black, because most of it is just primer, and then there's little bits of black touch-up that I did. So it kind of unifies everything into a uniform black again. So I like to do that when I paint black models. All right, I'm done all my highlighting, edge highlighting anyway. So I did all my Dark Reaper highlights on the black. I used Dark Reaper instead of Eschen Gray because I wanted a little bit of bluish color to it to make it look a little bit more bright, as opposed to the Eschen Gray, which is a more darker blacky gray, than the Dark Reaper, which is a more bluey gray. So I think it looks pretty good. I tried to be as neat as possible. It's a lot of edges, but I managed to get it done. So basically, this thing is done. Also highlighted, you know, the red on the heavy bolters, and I've already picked out all the silver, and so it's looking pretty good. First, I put a little bit of muzzle burn on the engine, just a little bit. More blue towards the end, some purple, and then some Seraphim Sepia on the sort of barrel part of the engine, and then I kind of blended it back together with some water so it wasn't so obvious. I didn't want it too crazy. I think it looks okay now. Actually, it looks a little bit better in person than on camera, but it looks at it, but that looks okay. And then I tried to do this. There's actually not a lot online about how to do this. There's a couple of videos, one of which was on like Dark Eldar cockpits, and then yeah, so there wasn't a lot. But I just kind of had a look at it, and the principle is, you know, darker going to light in the corner, and then a white reflective highlight in the opposite corner. So that's what I did. I used Cantor Blue, and then Calidor Sky. So Cantor Blue is the darkest, and then Calidor Sky, and then Temple Guard Blue, and then White Scar. And I tried to kind of wet blend that a little bit together, and then a white highlight in the opposite corner. It doesn't look too bad. It looks a little bit better. Obviously, it looks way better from far away. Like really far away. Really far. Oh yeah, that looks great. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad on camera actually. And I did it for these two windows because the kind of light, the principle of the light coming from there. And I didn't know what to do with the side windows, whether to do the same, so the colors on here and then the white at the top corner there, but I thought that was looked kind of weird. Anyway, let me know what you think about the side windows, how I should do that. And please leave comments below about any tips you have for this, or a good video resource for this process here. There's lots of things on lenses which are done in the same way, but they're a lot smaller. So you don't have to make the transitions as smooth when you're dealing with such small surface areas like marine eye lenses, but this is a big surface area. So let me know. But for now, I'm calling this guy done, and he's ready for the game, which has been pushed back to next week. So there was no rush in the end, but this guy's ready. All right, a little update. So I actually asked GW to ask Duncan to do a video on how to paint these kind of reflective windows, and they said they'd ask him, but in the meantime, I might find a other video useful, which was how to paint Caradron Overlord portholes on their ships, which is actually exactly what I'm looking for, just in a circle form instead of a square. So I've actually started the process here. So they suggested, first of all, base with Cantor Blue. So I've just based the whole window with Cantor Blue. I need another coat, maybe another 2 coats to cover what I previously had done. And then the rest of the process is a little bit of known oil and 2 layers of kind of highlights, and then a little dot, and that was it. So I'm going to carry on and do the GW method because I wasn't super happy with what I did, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so the next step after a base of Cantor Blue, I needed 1 more coat, is to wash with known oil and to have most of the darkness of the wash up towards the upper right corner. So obviously I've done that with this main window now. I don't know if you can see it without the glare. I have to hold it up so it doesn't flow downwards. I have to keep it level until it kind of dries in this upward area there. I have to keep it level. I tried to do these two windows at once, but I can't keep them both level because there's an angle there. So this one was flowing down, and while this one stayed level, and if I tilted it up so that one stayed level, those was flowing up that way. So I have to do one window at a time here with the null and oil. So I'll wait till that one kind of semi-solidifies at least so it stops flowing, and then I can do this bottom window, and then we can do the side windows too. So but I think it's going to look good, actually better than what I had. All right, so it's taken me a few days due to time and drying time to get this looking okay. We've got null and oil shaded all over, but more towards the top right, like that on both those windows, and similarly on the side window here and that window. So now we're going to carry on with the final part, which is to put some Temple Guard blue and some Fenrisian gray down as a highlight in this lower part here, and then some dots of white. All right, that looks a lot better. So Cantor blue, null and oil, Thunderhawk blue, Fenrisian gray, white scar. That window's a little bit weird. That one actually looks a little bit better. Yeah, but the top looks okay, and then a layer of art coat which is still drying. Give it a bit of shine like a window. So actually it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I also put a little Dark Angel symbol up there on the hatch. Otherwise, the Fire Raptor is done. So people have been asking me, why are the wings so canted? And first of all, didn't realize that I probably glued it wrong. Probably could be ratcheted up one knobbin up so it's more flat. So that is actually an honest mistake. However, looking at it now, I think it looks pretty cool. Like a more swept attack pattern to swoop down as opposed to more gliding. And actually it's very similar to the way that the Dark Talon is. More swept down wings. Obviously the Dark Talon has swept the forward wings as well, which this kind of is, called a reverse sweep. And with the missiles and stuff underneath. So actually it looks more like the Dark Talon, more Raven wingy. So actually, A, I'm not going to bother to fix it. B, it would be very hard to fix and I'd have to redo a lot of the paint. So no thank you. And C, I actually like how it looks like that. So, and also be easier to pack away. So I'm going to call this Fire Raptor done. I hope you enjoyed that. There will be more Forge World to come, obviously, but I needed to get this painted up for some games next weekend, and it's done. And we'll catch you next time on Work in Progress.